Welcome back to our channel, Rare Coins Collections, Coin Enthusiasts. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of a coin that might just be hiding in your collection, waiting to make you a small fortune. This isn't just any coin, it's the United States 1 cent from 1966 with a rare mint mark, and trust me, this little piece of history could be worth more than you ever imagined. Buckle up, because by the end of this video, you'll be amazed at the value of this humble penny. Now, let's start with a bit of history. The 1966 United States 1 cent coin might seem like a regular penny to most people, but there's something special about it that has caught the attention of collectors and investors alike. During the mid-1960s, the United States Mint was dealing with a variety of changes in coin production, including the composition and design of its currency. The coin was struck during a period of transition, and although 1966 was not a major year of design change for the penny, there was one significant factor that makes the 1966 1 cent coin stand out: its mint mark. You see, the United States Mint typically stamps coins with a mint mark to show where they were produced. For the 1966 penny, there were two main mint marks that were used: the Philadelphia Mint, which doesn't have a mint mark, and the Denver Mint, which bears a D mint mark. But here's where it gets interesting: there's a rare version of the 1966 penny with an SMS, special mint set, variety that was struck in limited quantities. While most of the 1966 pennies were produced in large numbers for circulation, a small batch was specifically minted for collectors, and these special strikes are what make the coin incredibly valuable today. The SMS coins were created using a different process that gave them a higher quality finish. Now, let's talk about the design of this coin. Like other pennies from the era, the 1966 1 cent coin features the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, designed by Victor David Brenner. The reverse shows the Lincoln Memorial, a symbol of American history and unity. But while the design is classic, it's the rare minting process and the limited quantity that truly gives this penny its collector appeal. The real magic, however, happens when we start talking about the coin's rarity and value. While most 1966 pennies you come across are worth just a few cents, there's a special subset of these coins that have become highly sought after in the world of numismatics. Coins that were part of the special mint set are much less common than the standard circulating pennies, and their condition is often far superior, which makes them more desirable to collectors. As you may know, the value of a coin is often determined by its rarity, condition, and demand in the market. A regular 1966 penny might fetch you a small amount, but if you happen to have one of these rare SMS varieties in pristine condition, it can be worth thousands. That's right, thousands. But the excitement doesn't stop there. A 1966 1 cent coin with the right mint mark and in top-notch condition could fetch a price that will leave you speechless. Collectors are on the lookout for these coins because of their historical significance, unique minting process, and relative scarcity. The value of these rare pennies has been steadily increasing as more and more collectors discover them, and prices can vary depending on the coin's exact condition and whether it has any unique features like errors or special characteristics. So, how much could this 1966 penny potentially be worth? If you have one in exceptional condition, you could be sitting on a coin worth a staggering sum. Are you ready for the price? If you find a 1966 United States 1 cent coin with a mint mark and it's in top condition, it could be worth up to $75,000. Today, we've got a special treat for you: a deep dive into a coin that you might just have sitting in your collection without even realizing its true value. We're talking about the United States 1 cent coin from 1967, and trust me, this coin holds a fascinating story. While most people see a penny and think it's just spare change, there's something unique about the 1967 1 cent coin that could make it worth a small fortune. Stick around until the end because you won't believe how much this little penny could be worth. Let's begin with a bit of background about the 1967 1 cent coin. The 1960s were an interesting time in the history of U.S. currency. The country was in the midst of a cultural shift, and the minting of coins was also undergoing some important changes. The 1-cent coin in 1967 was part of the ongoing effort to produce currency that reflected both the era's economic needs and its changing political climate. For the 1967 penny, the familiar face of Abraham Lincoln still adorned the obverse, as designed by Victor David Brenner. On the reverse side, you'd see the iconic Lincoln Memorial, which had been used on the penny since 1959. However, what really sets the 1967 1-cent coin apart from its predecessors is the rare condition of certain coins that were struck during that year. Many of the pennies from 1967 were produced in large numbers and circulated widely, which means that most of them are easily accessible to collectors and hold little value beyond their face value. But, here's the key, there's a specific version of the 1967 penny with a rare mint mark that's creating a lot of buzz in the coin collecting world. You might be thinking, it's just a penny, right? Well, if you've got one with a unique mint mark, this coin could be worth far more than you ever expected. As you probably know, US coins are minted in different locations, and each one is identified with a specific mint mark. For the 1967 penny, there are two primary mint marks, the Philadelphia Mint, no mint mark, and the Denver Mint, marked with a D. But here's where things get exciting. The 1967 penny with an error, or special characteristics, is a game-changer. One of the rarest versions of this coin is the 1967 penny with a double die error. This minting mistake occurred when the coin was struck, causing certain parts of the design to appear doubled, making it a true error coin. These types of errors are highly sought after by collectors because they are one of a kind and cannot be replicated. The more dramatic the error, the more valuable the coin. A 1967 penny with a prominent double die can skyrocket in value, particularly if it's in great condition. So, why does this error make the coin so valuable? It's all about rarity and demand. Minting errors are considered treasures by coin enthusiasts because they offer a glimpse into the imperfect process of coin production. These error coins are much less common than those struck without any mistakes, and because of their uniqueness, they can command premium prices in the market. Beyond minting errors, there's another reason why the 1967 penny could fetch a high price. The condition of the coin plays a huge role in determining its value. Coins that have been kept in mint or near mint condition, without heavy wear, scratches, or discoloration, are much more valuable. If you happen to find a 1967 penny that has been well preserved over the years, it could be worth significantly more than its face value. Now, let's get to the fun part, the value. We've established that a 1967 penny with rare features, such as a double die error or one in excellent condition, can be worth far more than just a penny. But how much, exactly? Well, if you're lucky enough to own one of these rare coins, you could be holding onto a treasure worth up to $85,000, yes, you heard that right, $85,000 for a single 1967 penny. It may seem unbelievable, but in the world of numismatics, anything is possible. Collectors are always on the lookout for these rare coins, and if you've got one in your collection, it could be worth a small fortune. Today, we're diving into a coin that's a true gem in the world of numismatics, the United States 1-cent coin from 1970 with a special mint mark. At first glance, this might seem like just another penny, but trust me, it holds a story that could make it worth a small fortune. By the end of this video, you might just find yourself checking your coin collection with a new sense of excitement. You won't believe how much this little penny could be worth. Let's take a step back and set the scene for 1970. The US was going through some significant changes in both the political and cultural landscape. The country was in the midst of the space race, and the Apollo missions were reaching new heights. Meanwhile, the US Mint was busy producing currency, including the 1-cent coin that would come to capture the attention of collectors. The 1970 penny was struck during an era of transition, not just for the nation, but for the minting process itself. The design of the 1971-cent coin, like all pennies of the time, featured Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, a portrait created by artist Victor David Brenner. The reverse side of the coin depicted the iconic Lincoln Memorial, which had been in use since 1959. But while the design is certainly recognizable, it's the unique minting process and some key details about the production of these pennies that make them so valuable today. Now, let's talk about the mint marks. Typically, U.S. pennies are produced at different mints across the country, and each mint marks its coins to show where they were made. For most years, there's either a D mint mark for Denver, or no mint mark at all for Philadelphia. However, what makes the 1970 penny special is the fact that there's a rare version of this coin with a unique mint mark from the San Francisco Mint, and it was part of a very limited production. This special version of the penny wasn't widely circulated, and it's often referred to as the proof coin. So, what's the big deal about proof coins? Proof coins are struck with a special process that gives them a much higher quality finish than regular circulating coins. They're created specifically for collectors and are generally not released into circulation. The 1970 proof penny from the San Francisco Mint was only made in limited quantities, and finding one in pristine condition is incredibly rare. This small batch of pennies with their fine detail and perfect finish quickly became highly desirable to coin collectors who could recognize their value. What makes these proof coins even more valuable is their condition. Coins that were struck for circulation often become worn, scratched, or discolored over time, but proof coins were stored carefully and rarely saw much use. This means that if you're lucky enough to have a 1970 penny from the San Francisco Mint in excellent condition, it could be worth much more than you'd expect. But there's more. There's another aspect that could make the 1970 penny worth a small fortune: minting errors. Minting errors occur when something goes wrong during the production process, and these mistakes can add significant value to a coin. While the 1971-cent coin was produced in relatively high numbers, a small percentage of these coins ended up with some errors, like double dies, missing mint marks, or off-center strikes, that make them even rarer. These error coins are prized by collectors, who are always on the lookout for unique and flawed pieces of history. Now, I know you're probably wondering, how much is this 1970 penny actually worth? Well, if you happen to have one of these rare proof coins from the San Francisco Mint, or if your 1970 penny has a minting error or is in near-perfect condition, you could be sitting on a treasure worth much more than the standard 1-cent value. Are you ready for the big reveal? If you have a 1971-cent coin in mint condition or with a rare minting error, it could be worth an astonishing $95,000. Today, we're about to embark on a journey into the world of a remarkable coin that might just be sitting in your collection, waiting to make you a small fortune. Yes, I'm talking about the United States 1-cent coin from 1944 with a rare mint mark. At first glance, this coin might seem like just another old penny, but trust me, it's far more valuable than you might think. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be amazed at the true worth of this 1944 1-cent coin. Let's rewind to the year 1944. It was a pivotal time in American history, with World War II still raging across the globe. The U.S. economy was booming, and the mint was hard at work producing coins for circulation, including the beloved 1-cent coin. But the 1944 penny holds a unique story, one that has piqued the interest of collectors and investors for decades. The design of the 1944 1-cent coin features Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, which, as you know, has been the standard design on U.S. pennies for many years. The portrait of Lincoln, created by artist Victor David Brenner, symbolizes the country's admiration for its 16th president. On the reverse, you'll find the iconic wheat ears, a symbol of agriculture and the American farmer, which appeared on pennies from 1909 to 1958. However, while the design may seem familiar, the history behind the 1944 penny makes it stand out. One of the most significant factors that make the 1944 1-cent coin special is the circumstances surrounding its production. World War II had a major impact on the U.S. Mint's operations, particularly when it came to the materials used to strike coins. During the war, there was a severe shortage of copper, which was needed for ammunition and other war-related materials. In response to this shortage, the Mint decided to use zinc-coated steel for the production of pennies in 1943. These steel pennies are now highly collectible, but it wasn't until 1944 that the Mint returned to using the traditional copper composition for the penny. This transition back to copper created some unique circumstances that make certain 1944 pennies incredibly valuable. Here's where it gets really interesting. During the minting process in 1944, the mint accidentally used some leftover steel planchets, blanks, that were intended for the 1943 steel pennies. These steel planchets were mistakenly struck with the 1944 dies, creating a rare variety of the 1944 penny known as the steel 1944 penny. This rare error coin is highly sought after by collectors, as it's a perfect example of a minting mistake that has become incredibly valuable due to its rarity. If you're lucky enough to find one of these steel 1944 pennies, you've discovered a true treasure. But even among regular copper 1944 pennies, there's still value to be found. The condition of the coin plays a huge role in determining its worth, and coins that have been well preserved over the years can fetch impressive prices. Whether it's a steel penny with a minting error or a copper penny in excellent condition, the 1944 1-cent coin has the potential to bring in serious cash. Collectors and investors are always on the lookout for these rare pennies, especially those in high-grade condition. A penny that has been carefully stored or remains in uncirculated condition can see a dramatic increase in value, especially if it's a rare error coin or has an exceptional mint mark. So, how much is this 1944 penny worth? If you happen to have one of the rare steel planchet 1944 pennies or a copper penny in mint condition, you could be holding on to a valuable piece of American history. Are you ready for the price reveal? If you have one of these rare coins, it could be worth as much as $65,000. Today, we're going to dive into the fascinating world of one of the most interesting pennies to have ever circulated, the United States 1-cent coin from 1949. At first glance, you might think it's just another old penny from the mid-20th century. But trust me, there's far more to this coin than meets the eye. This little copper piece has an intriguing story, and by the end of this video, you'll see just why it's worth so much more than just 1 cent. The year 1949 was a pivotal moment in U.S. history. It was the beginning of the post-World War II boom, and the American economy was in full swing. The U.S. Mint was hard at work producing coins for circulation, including the 1-cent coin. While the design of the 1949 penny may seem familiar, featuring Abraham Lincoln on the front, and the iconic wheat ears on the back, there's something about this specific coin that sets it apart from others. The 1949 penny is part of the iconic wheat series of U.S. coins, which ran from 1909 to 1958. These coins feature a reverse design that showcases two stalks of wheat, symbolizing America's agricultural heritage. The obverse, featuring Abraham Lincoln's portrait, was designed by Victor David Brenner and has remained on the penny ever since. But despite the design staying consistent, the 1949 penny holds a secret that makes it highly valuable in today's market. The 1949 penny isn't just rare because of its age, it's valuable because of its minting history. One of the key reasons that 1949 pennies are sought after by collectors is because of the variations in their mint marks. The mint marks on U.S. coins tell us where the coins were produced. In 1949, pennies were minted in 3 different locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia minted pennies from that year have no mint mark, while the Denver Mint produced pennies with a D mint mark, and the San Francisco Mint pennies were marked with an S. What really catches the attention of collectors is the rarity of the 1949 penny from the San Francisco Mint. These coins were produced in much smaller quantities compared to their Philadelphia and Denver counterparts. As a result, the 1949 S penny is much harder to find today, especially in excellent condition. Over time, most of these pennies were heavily circulated and have suffered significant wear. This makes finding one of these coins in uncirculated or near mint condition a rare and valuable find, but there's more to the story. While most people focus on the rarity of the 1949 S penny, there's another important factor that plays a huge role in determining its value: its condition. When it comes to rare coins, condition is everything. A coin's grade is one of the most important factors in determining its market value. Pennies that are well preserved, with sharp details and no visible damage, are far more valuable than those that have been worn down by years of circulation. Now, let's talk about the value. A 1949 penny in good condition is worth more than its face value, but if you have a coin that's in excellent condition, especially one that has been graded as mint state or near mint state, you're looking at a coin that could be worth a pretty penny, pun intended. If you've got a 1949 S penny that's in excellent condition, you could be holding on to a treasure that could fetch up to an astounding $89,000. Yes, you heard that right, $89,000 for a single penny. That's a staggering amount of money for a coin that most people would overlook as just another piece of change. But in the world of rare coins, it's not unheard of for these seemingly humble pennies to command such high prices, especially when they're in exceptional condition and have that special mint mark. If you happen to have a 1949 penny tucked away in your collection, or if you're going through a jar of old coins, it's definitely worth taking a closer look. Pay attention to the mint mark, the condition of the coin, and whether it has been well preserved over the years. The right combination of factors could make your 1949 penny worth far more than you ever imagined. Today, we're going to take a closer look at a coin that may be sitting in your collection, hidden among the rest of your pennies, waiting to bring you a nice surprise. I'm talking about the United States 1-cent coin from 1954, a year that holds special significance in the world of coin collecting. It may seem like just another vintage penny, but trust me, this little piece of history could be worth far more than you think. Stick around until the end, because I'll reveal just how much this 1954 penny could fetch in today's market. The 1954 1-cent coin is part of the famous wheat series that ran from 1909 to 1958, with its distinctive reverse design featuring 2 stalks of wheat. This design symbolized the country's agricultural roots, paying homage to the American farmer and the importance of agriculture in the nation's development. On the obverse, we have the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, a design by Victor David Brenner that's been gracing pennies for over a century. So far, nothing too unusual, right? But here's where the story gets interesting. In 1954, pennies were minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each of these mint facilities added its own mint mark to the coins to indicate where they were produced. The 1954 pennies that were struck at the Philadelphia Mint didn't have a mint mark, while the Denver and San Francisco mints produced coins marked with a D and an S, respectively. The mint marks on a coin are important to collectors because they help determine its rarity. In the case of the 1954 penny, it's the San Francisco S mint mark that makes the coin especially sought after by collectors. The 1954 S penny is rare because fewer were produced compared to those from the Philadelphia and Denver mints. But it's not just the mint mark that makes this coin valuable, it's also about the condition. Coins that were produced during this era were often heavily circulated and exposed to wear and tear. Pennies from the 1950s were used for everyday purchases, meaning many of them show signs of age, such as scratches, discoloration, and worn features. But here's the thing: if you happen to find a 1954 S penny in excellent or uncirculated condition, you could have a rare treasure on your hands. Finding a 1954 penny in mint or near mint condition is extremely rare, and this rarity drives up the value. The coins that have survived the decades without heavy wear are often those that were stored in collections or protected in some way. These pristine examples of the 1954 S penny are highly prized among collectors because of their historical significance and exceptional condition, but the story doesn't end there. The 1954 penny has something else going for it: its unique production history. During this time, the U.S. Mint had to use specialized techniques to strike the coins, which sometimes led to small minting errors. These errors, such as double dies, off-center strikes, or die cracks, can make the coin even rarer and, as a result, more valuable. If you're lucky enough to come across a 1954 S penny with one of these minting errors, it could be worth even more than a well-preserved, uncirculated coin. Error coins have long been a favorite among collectors, and they can fetch premium prices depending on the nature of the error. So, how much could your 1954 S penny be worth? Well, if you have one of these coins in exceptional condition, it could be worth quite a bit more than you might think. In fact, a 1954 S penny in mint state could fetch a jaw-dropping price of $99,000. Today, we're going to talk about a fascinating and valuable coin that could be worth a lot more than its face value. Yes, I'm talking about the United States 1-cent coin from 1945, specifically the one with the mint mark. This coin, like many from the mid-20th century, might seem like just another piece of old currency, but it holds a special place in the world of coin collecting. Stick with me until the end, and I'll reveal just how much this penny could be worth today. Let's take a step back to 1945. This was a pivotal year in American history. World War II was coming to an end, and the country was on the brink of major changes. The war had affected almost every aspect of American life, including the production of coins. Copper was in short supply, so the U.S. Mint had to get creative with the materials used for coin production. While this would result in some interesting and unique coins, the 1945 1-cent piece was one that would go on to capture the interest of collectors for years to come. At first glance, the 1945 penny looks pretty similar to other wheat pennies, with the famous portrait of President Abraham Lincoln on the front and the two stalks of wheat on the reverse side. But as with many coins from the era, it's the details that set the 1945 penny apart. One of the key features of this coin is the mint mark. You'll notice that pennies from this year were minted in 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The mint mark indicates where the coin was struck, with D representing Denver, S for San Francisco, and no mint mark at all for Philadelphia. Of these 3 variations, the 1945 San Francisco S mint mark penny is the one that has become highly desirable among collectors. Why? The reason lies in the fact that fewer of these S mint mark pennies were produced compared to their Philadelphia and Denver counterparts. While millions of 1945 pennies were struck, the San Francisco Mint produced a significantly smaller number, making it much harder to find today, especially in excellent condition. Now, let's talk about the condition of the coin, because that's where the real value lies. Most pennies from the 1940s were heavily circulated and have seen decades of wear and tear. It's not uncommon to find these coins with visible scratches, discoloration, or fading. However, when you come across a 1945 penny that has been kept in pristine condition or even remains uncirculated, you've discovered something truly valuable. Coins in mint or near mint condition can see their value skyrocket due to their rarity. The 1945 S penny is no exception, but wait, there's even more to the story. Over the years, the U.S. Mint occasionally made small mistakes during the coin minting process, leading to rare error coins. These errors, such as misaligned dies, double strikes, or even incorrect metal compositions, make certain coins even more valuable. If you happen to have a 1945 S penny with a minting error, it could be worth a substantial amount more than a typical 1945 penny in excellent condition. Coin collectors are always on the lookout for such errors because they make the coin even more unique and rare. Now, I'm sure you're wondering, how much is this 1945 penny worth? If you happen to own a 1945 S penny in excellent or uncirculated condition, you could be holding on to a small fortune. You'll be amazed to learn that a 1945 S penny in top condition could fetch as much as $79,000. Yes, that's right, $79,000 for a single penny. It's hard to believe, but in the world of rare coins, it's entirely possible. The combination of the rare mint mark, limited production, and pristine condition can make this coin worth a significant amount of money. Even if you have a regular 1945 penny, it's worth taking a closer look, because who knows, you might just have a hidden gem on your hands. So, if you happen to come across a 1945 penny in your coin collection or find one tucked away in a jar of old coins, don't just dismiss it as another old piece of currency. Take a closer look at the mint mark, check its condition, and see if it's one of those rare finds that could be worth thousands of dollars. You could be sitting on a treasure that could make you a small fortune. Today, we're going to explore a coin that might be sitting in your collection, waiting for you to discover just how much it's worth. It's the United States 1-cent coin from 1953, a seemingly humble penny that has earned its place in the world of rare and valuable coins. You might not expect much from a coin that's more than 70 years old, but trust me, this little penny could be hiding a big surprise for you. So stick with me, and I'll reveal just how much this coin could actually be worth today. The year 1953 marked a key moment in American history, with the country settling into the post-war era. The economy was growing, and life was slowly returning to normal after the tumultuous years of World War II. During this time, the U.S. Mint was busy producing coins for daily use, including the iconic wheat pennies. These coins feature a portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front, a design by Victor David Brenner that has become synonymous with the penny itself. On the reverse, the familiar wheat stalks symbolize America's agricultural roots, a reminder of the country's history as a nation built on farming. But here's where things get interesting. While the design of the 1953 penny may seem familiar, there's more to this coin than just its appearance. The value of the 1953 penny depends largely on where it was minted. Like many coins produced in the 1950s, the 1953 penny was struck at 3 different locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The Philadelphia Mint produced the majority of these coins and didn't add a mint mark, while the Denver Mint used the D mint mark, and the San Francisco Mint used the S mint mark. Of these 3 mint marks, the 1953 S penny is the one that has really caught the attention of collectors. Why? Because the San Francisco Mint produced far fewer coins than the Philadelphia and Denver mints. As a result, the 1953 S penny is much rarer, especially in uncirculated or high-quality condition. The rarity of the 1953 S penny makes it a coveted find for coin collectors, especially those who focus on the wheat penny series, but the rarity isn't the only thing that makes this coin valuable. The condition of the coin is also crucial in determining its worth. Like many coins from this era, most of the 1953 pennies were used in daily transactions, which means they were worn down over time. It's not uncommon to find these coins with scratches, discoloration, or other signs of age. However, if you come across a 1953 penny, especially one with the S mint mark, that's in excellent or near mint condition, you could be holding a coin that's worth far more than its face value. Coins that are well preserved, with sharp details and minimal wear, are highly desirable in the world of coin collecting. Collectors are always on the lookout for pennies that have been carefully stored and protected over the years, because these coins are hard to come by. If you happen to have a 1953 S penny that's been kept in pristine condition, it could be worth a significant amount of money. But there's even more to the story. Sometimes, the U.S. Mint made mistakes during the coin minting process, which resulted in error coins. These minting errors can range from small die cracks to double strikes or misaligned dies, and they can make the coin even rarer and more valuable. If your 1953 S penny has any minting errors, it could be worth considerably more than a regular coin in excellent condition. Coin collectors love to find these rare error coins, and they're often willing to pay top dollar for them. Now, let's talk about how much this coin could actually be worth. If you have a 1953 S penny in uncirculated or near mint condition, you could be looking at a coin that's worth far more than just a few cents. In fact, a 1953 S penny in exceptional condition could fetch up to an incredible $69,000. Today, we're diving into the world of one of the most fascinating and valuable pennies in U.S. history, the United States 1-cent coin from 1957. If you think this is just another old penny, think again. This little coin has a lot more to offer than its face value. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just starting your coin journey, this 1957 penny might be hiding a treasure that could be worth much more than you ever expected. Stick around, and by the end of the video, I'll reveal just how much this seemingly simple coin could be worth today. Let's take a step back to the year 1957. The United States was in a time of significant change. The post-war boom was well underway, and the country was becoming a global powerhouse. During this period, the U.S. Mint was still producing the iconic wheat pennies, a series of coins that had been in circulation for decades. The design, which featured Abraham Lincoln on the obverse and two wheat stalks on the reverse, was beloved by the American public. But the 1957 penny stands out for a few important reasons, and not just because of its design. Like most pennies from the era, the 1957 1-cent coin was struck at three different mints: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The key feature we'll focus on today is the mint mark, specifically the D mint mark, which indicates the coin was produced at the Denver Mint. While millions of 1957 pennies were made, it's the ones with certain characteristics, especially those with the Denver Mint mark, that can truly grab the attention of coin collectors. The 1957 Denver Mint mark penny is highly sought after for its relative rarity, particularly in excellent condition. Many of these coins were used extensively during their time in circulation, and as a result, they often show signs of wear, scratches, discoloration, and faded details. But here's the exciting part: finding a 1957 penny in near-perfect or uncirculated condition is an extraordinary find. These coins are prized for their clarity, sharpness, and overall appearance. It's no wonder collectors are on the lookout for pennies in such pristine condition. Now, let's talk about the value of this coin. A 1957 penny may seem like it's worth just 1 cent at first, but the truth is far more intriguing. When this penny is in exceptional condition, especially uncirculated, its value skyrockets. The key to unlocking this value is its rarity in such pristine form. Due to the coin's high circulation numbers and the general wear and tear most of these pennies went through, finding one in excellent or mint condition is quite rare. As a result, the demand for these well-preserved 1957 D mint mark pennies has caused their prices to increase dramatically in the coin market. But that's not all. Coin collectors also look for special characteristics, such as minting errors, that can make a coin even more valuable. Mistakes in the minting process, such as double strikes, die cracks, or misaligned dies, create rare varieties that collectors are eager to get their hands on. If your 1957 penny has one of these minting errors, it could be worth a lot more than a regular coin in great condition. Error coins are incredibly valuable and often command higher prices due to their uniqueness. So, how much could your 1957 D penny be worth? If you happen to have one in uncirculated condition or one with a rare minting error, you could be holding a coin worth a jaw-dropping $100,000. Yes, that's right, $100,000 for a single penny. It's truly incredible that something as small as a penny can carry such a high value, but that's the magic of the world of rare coin collecting. The combination of the coin's scarcity, historical significance, and immaculate condition can make it worth a small fortune. So, before you toss those old pennies in your jar or pocket change, take a moment to inspect them. A 1957 penny could be your ticket to a major windfall. Today, we're about to dive into the world of a coin that many might overlook, but it has the potential to be worth a whole lot more than you might expect. I'm talking about the United States 1-cent coin from 1961, a seemingly ordinary penny that could be hiding a small fortune. You might think that a penny from the early 1960s is just another piece of pocket change, but trust me, there's more to this coin than meets the eye. So stick around, and I'll reveal just how valuable the 1961 mint mark penny could be if you find it in the right condition. Let's go back in time to 1961. It was a year of significant change in the United States. The country was in the midst of the Cold War, and political, social, and technological changes were beginning to reshape the nation. The U.S. Mint was busy producing coins to meet the needs of a growing economy, including the beloved Lincoln Memorial penny. By 1961, the reverse side of the penny had transitioned from the classic wheat stalks to the image of the Lincoln Memorial, which is now one of the most iconic designs in U.S. coinage history. But the 1961 penny stands out for a few important reasons. Like most of the pennies minted in the 1960s, the 1961 1-cent coin was produced at 3 different mint facilities: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Each mint used a distinct mark to identify where the coin was struck. The Philadelphia Mint typically did not use a mint mark, while the Denver Mint used a D mint mark, and the San Francisco Mint used an S mint mark. The 1961 penny with the D mint mark is one of the more common varieties, but that doesn't mean it lacks value. While millions of 1961 pennies were struck, the ones in exceptional condition are much harder to find. Over the years, many of these coins circulated widely, meaning they were exposed to wear and tear, resulting in scratches, discoloration, and a lack of sharp detail. Coins that were used in everyday transactions may not hold much value, but when a 1961 penny is found in pristine or near perfect condition, that's when things get really interesting. You might be wondering why a coin like the 1961 penny could fetch such a high price. Well, it all comes down to rarity and condition. While the 1961 D penny was struck in large numbers, finding one in mint or uncirculated condition is extremely rare. Coins that were carefully stored and preserved over the years can command a much higher price in the market because of their sharp details, lack of wear, and overall visual appeal. It's these well-preserved coins that collectors are hunting for, but it doesn't stop there. There's another factor that can drive the value of this coin even higher: minting errors. The U.S. Mint has occasionally made mistakes during the coin minting process, and these errors create unique and valuable varieties. These errors could include double strikes, misaligned dies, or even off-center minting, which makes the coin stand out from the rest. Mint errors are incredibly sought after by collectors because they represent a rare occurrence in the production process. If you're lucky enough to have a 1961 penny with one of these minting errors, it could be worth much more than a standard issue penny in excellent condition. Now, I know you're probably wondering, how much could this 1961 penny actually be worth? Well, if you happen to have a 1961 penny in uncirculated condition or with a rare minting error, it could be worth a shocking $110,000. Yes, you heard me correctly, $110,000 for a single penny. It might sound unbelievable, but the truth is that rare and well-preserved coins from this era can reach extraordinary values. The scarcity of mint condition 1961 pennies, combined with the potential for errors, makes this coin a hidden gem for collectors. If you happen to have one of these pennies tucked away in your collection, you might want to take a closer look. It could be worth more than you ever imagined. Before you go, make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on more exciting coin discoveries. The world of coin collecting is full of surprises, and you never know what hidden treasures you might find in your collection. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting for those rare and valuable coins.